This whole incident happened right here. They drove from that way with their blaring sirens that woke me up from my siesta I was having in the afternoon. And they went that way to that junction. They reversed, the ammo tank reversed and came back here. Wanted to come in. And my men stopped them here. And they started firing at people. Right at this very spot. Check here on the window of my bedroom and to the front gate of my father's compound. Firing live ammunition to scare people, to terrorize people in this very peaceful village, in this very peaceful town. That is what Nigeria is doing, and the world must know about it.
The troops were just on their normal operation, patrolling. And some chaps, if I will use that, who were later identified to be IPOB members, came to, block the road and said they shouldn't pass. How? And they denied them access. And it was peaceful, and they started throwing stones at them. Missiles. When I mean missiles, stones and things that are hard objects, to the extent of, injuring a soldier on his head, and then they passed out by one lady. And that was what happened. And of course, it did not even escalate to what they pasted on the internet. When they positioned, they went and photoshopped a picture of people that were in a range-like position, and then firing against IPOB flags. It is rather unfortunate. I was contacted directly, and I was in touch with them, and that is what is the situation. You know, when things like this happen, people can come out with various things. I'm not saying that the police did not give you, a version of what they understood or what they were giving, but I'm now telling you that what happened is that it is a normal, like you referred me to Operation Python Dance, exercise, Python Dance is a normal routine exercise. And of course, nobody will just sit down and then, look at, carry out your normal exercise, which was the normal exercise of Python Dance. And that was what happened. So it was not like specifically we are testing armor personnel carrier or whatever. We didn't just acquire armor personnel carriers. We have it and we have been using them. So it was not, if it was something expected and, looked at from that angle, they would have gone out to their combat camera and captured it.
Back to Sunrise Daily, we're focusing now on the clash between the Nigerian army and members of the indigenous people of Biafra. We've got retired Colonel Yomi, who is former Director, Army Legal Services, here with us. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Well, about this clash, it happened again yesterday. It turns out that there was a previous one, which the Army, I think the Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, had released a statement and said it was a show of force. They were just passing through before they were attacked. Now, from the incident that played out yesterday, it does then appear as though it wasn't actually a show of force. It did appear as though it was perhaps a recon or some sort of recce, because yesterday the clashes, as reports came through saying that the Army came, occupied his house, and then opened fire on some of those people who were there. And there are those who just wonder, why should this not be referred to as impunity by the Army?
Well, Chamberlain, I've also been following up the story, and I don't think it's a good development in the sense that we must all be very, very careful. When I mean all, including you, the press, we must all be very careful, because our nation is, going through a very difficult time. Apart from the economic issues that we have at hand, there's tension all over the place, politically, all right? We are all aware that this gentleman is still on bail. And we must not also forget that there were 3 of them that were standing trial. And the 2 other guys are still there. Okay? And we must really address things as they are with a very, very clear head. We must be objective. We must divorce ourselves from unnecessary sentiment and undue emotional outburst, which I see playing out in this circumstance.
Is that the reason why the, should I say the soldiers there now, derailed and then moved in to attack the journalists?
I'm not going to say here that the soldiers derailed. Don't forget that there is what you call unexpected consequences of military exercises.
Is it justified to have attacked the journalists?
To have attacked the journalists? I hope you are aware that the brigade commander personally visited the journalists, and from my understanding, undertook to pay the cost of the damaged equipment. Of course, those soldiers went on a, sometimes, like I said, unexpected consequences during exercises. They went on a frolic of their own, and they have since been cautioned. And I understand that as it stands, the exercise is in sectors. We have the sectors, the entire location is sectorized, section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6, okay, with section commanders. And the Army has released section commander numbers and email addresses, okay, where members of the public, okay, can, give them a feedback or complain.
But don't you think it makes it even more dangerous for the Army to be in a civilian setting like that? Because, as you said, maybe they derailed, yes, or maybe they acted on some other orders we don't know, and then went to the NUJ and disturbed the journalists there. It's really a disturbing situation, because you cannot have the Army in the civilian setting. That's the argument.
Now listening. From the information I gathered, the soldiers were on a normal patrol exercise whilst they were being recorded by some of the journalists who were in their, NUJ house, okay? And they got upset and went in there to seize some of those, equipment, okay?
Which they don't have any right to.
Well, they don't
because they were doing their legitimate duty to journalists.
Well, absolutely, they don't have any right to do that. But at the same time, the commander, the brigade commander went there. He apologized. The GOC sent, his, public relations, the deputy director of public relations department there, and then there was a joint press conference, and that was resolved
after the damage, the damage had been done.
Well,
it could be a psychological attempt to intimidate the journalists.
No, I would.
Because I'm looking at some of the reports, the way some journalists reported it. They said, the Army then said, look, okay, these are the people who have been reporting negatively about the Army. So while they were moving, according to the story that we're reading on the papers, is that a convoy of 20 soldiers then derailed and moved into that place, pointed to certain people, demanded their phones and iPad, and smashed it. So that is premeditated.
Well, I think we will not be helping.
No, from that account, doesn't it sound premeditated?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, have you read the account?
I mean, so many accounts.
Do you feel that
so many accounts?
Don't you think that
so we have to be very careful.